Imagine waking up after a hurricane and realizing the storm didn't just destroy homes, it erased entire communities. In 1928, that nightmare became real when a massive hurricane slammed into South Florida and Lake Okeechobee's levee collapsed. A 14-foot wall of water roared out like a moving mountain and swept across the land in the middle of the night. More than 2,500 people were killed, yet most Americans today have never even heard of this disaster. But what happened after the storm is even more disturbing. At sunrise, rescuers found bodies everywhere. People were tangled in trees, lying in fields, or floating miles from where they had lived just hours before. The heat was unbearable, and the dead had to be buried quickly. But how they were buried depended entirely on the color of their skin. White victims were given dignity. Their bodies were placed in caskets, buried in cemeteries, their names recorded so their families could mourn them. But black victims, mostly African American and Bahamian migrant workers who lived closest to the lake, were treated completely differently. Crews loaded their bodies onto wagons by the dozens, stacked together with no chance of identification. More than 600 of them were dumped into a single trench in West Palm Beach. No grave markers, no ceremony, no individual names, just a mass grave that was left unmarked and ignored for decades. Meanwhile, white victims rested beneath headstones. The contrast wasn't subtle, it was deliberate. Even in death, the racial divide of the 1920s decided who was remembered and who was forgotten. It took more than 70 years before that mass grave of black victims was finally recognized, and a memorial was built to honor them. The 1928 Okeechobee hurricane wasn't just one of the deadliest storms in American history. It revealed a truth many people never learned in school. The storm didn't discriminate, but the response to it absolutely did. Watch the full documentary on this forgotten disaster now on my channel. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on this story.